Hello and welcome to the Cinema Snobs VR cast. I am Jimmie.
And I'm Jake.
And this is episode 13, July 2025, talking about the films Suspiria. And we will be bringing in our guest for this month, Nick Woods, who will be jumping in when we get into the review section. But first off, Jake, how's everything going? I hear you're kind of under the weather. How you feeling?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna mute the mic every time I have to cough. I'm kind of good at that. But yeah, I've been fine. I say this every time, but I've been watching less films, which is fine because I've come to realize that my philosophy with watching film has actually changed significantly. Like I'm actually less snobby, which goes against the name of our podcast. But like I'm less like hard on films. Like if I just enjoy it, like I'll give respect to it. Like if it's bad, it's bad. But if I enjoy it, like I won't express my hatred for it as much as I would have in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, I mean, that's the title Cinema Snobs is more like we're just making fun of cinema snobs, because obviously we're
No, of
not.
course, yeah.
We are. I mean, yeah, we have. I think the whole point is we have a range, and to explain the show again, it feels like we do this all the time, but I know we have new people coming in and checking it out, giving us a chance. But the concept is I'm a dad, and you're my son. You're my 18-year-old son, and you become a movie fan very early on, which was of course my doing. um,
Yeah.
and and I was really impressed on how you really gravitated towards pretty highbrow films. Like not only do you grew up on all the, I never forget, like some of your first movies that I got you guys started loving was of course like the um uh like Monster Squad, like that's when I was starting to get you guys into horror. Monster Squad and The Gate and all those things. But then but even as younger than that, like you love the what are those movies with the damn the gophers or whatever, the beavers or what are they? The chipmunks, the chipmunk movies.
Oh,
The beavers, the
yeah,
chipmunk
yeah,
films.
yeah,
That was literally your
yeah.
your first films. And but then we had movie nights every week, and like you were the one that kind of like wanted to go further and just see beyond entertainment. So then you instantly jumped into like 10, 11 years old, you were watching, or no, what would you say, like you always mentioned Taxi Driver as being the one that really did it for you. How old were you then?
14, I think.
Okay, so then it was more like 14. Then
13
you
to
started
14. Yeah.
recognizing like dare to sound snobby, cinema. And
Oh, I
it was
was a
very
snob back then. I mean,
very
I was.
cool that that no, that's great. And so you saw the art into it very early. And the concept, it was of course you were mentioning films to me that I've never seen. And I mean, I've seen a lot of the auteurs in cinema, definitely. I got into all that stuff. But then, like you said, and I got into when I was just like really watching what I wanted to watch. Didn't care what genre, didn't care what country or what year and all that. Documentaries, commercial films, everything. But of course, my real love is cinema, real cinema films, and especially when you can blend the two. So that was
Of course,
always
yeah.
the concept. And now, yeah, it sounds like you're already becoming aware of that too, where it's like you can recognize both. So
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
there's some good friends of mine who does a podcast, the Gentleman's Guide to Midnight Cinema, and I love those guys. And big reason why I became a scholar, or wanted to delve deeper into films besides just entertainment, was because of those guys. But anyway, their whole concept was always from clash to trash, and I love that, where they would talk about a Fellini film, but then they would also talk about an 80s low budget film, and I love
Yeah.
that, how they had the contrast. So I think that's if continuing to do the show, we'll stick to that.
Yeah, of
So
course.
but was there anything I know you were literally, I stopped you to do this show from watching Happy Gilmore too. So I mean,
Yeah.
how far are
It's
you
been a
into
while
it?
since like 40 minutes. It's concerning because I see a lot of reviews saying like for people that I trust saying like, oh, it's so bad, like it's so stupid. And then I'm like 40 minutes in, I'm like, you know what? Like it's not great, of course, but like I actually enjoy it. Like am I just losing like my intelligence when it comes to watching films? But I don't know, like I mean, I'm not even gonna lie anymore because it's tiring to lie. Not that I ever did on a review, but like sometimes I've bumped up things like an extra half star because I'm like, oh, maybe I just didn't get it. I don't want to seem stupid. Like I am guilty of that, like several times. Um, I mean, I never made it a habit, but like sometimes I would slightly justify like, yeah, let's bump this up a half star. I just wasn't intelligent enough to understand it. Like I think everyone did that. You
Well,
know
it
what I
sounds
mean?
like you're literally like growing up through film. It's like I know what you're saying. Like, for me, when I review stuff, or when I rate stuff, because I'm not really a
Yeah,
reviewer. You on your Letterbox, you go in depth in reviews. Me, I just put that I watched something.
yeah,
Like, to me, Letterbox is more of a diary of what I've been doing for the year, and it's always cool to come back and see, and then of course I
of
compile my
course,
end of
yeah,
the year. But anyway, I just for me it's all about what I like, like what I enjoy, and then I rate films on like, okay, this is a top-notch great piece of work, artistically, but
yeah,
and that could be a 4 star for that reason, but for it to be a 4.5 or a 5, even, it's got to have both. It's got to be like something I'll watch over and over, like I enjoy to rewatch
yeah,
it, and something that like I want to purchase. I always say that too. Like if I'm buying it, that's different from just liking it. Um, but that can be,
yeah.
everything from a really badly made, just horrible acted movie. But if it's enjoyable, like the sets or the clothing or the music or the soundtrack, everything, that would warrant a 4 star because it's by enjoyment. So it's really funny. Like maybe there should be a cool way of doing it on Letterboxd, or just even on our own. We can just put that in our description or whatever. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's 4 stars as a film, you know, 4.5 stars as enjoyment. Like, or
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
it could be that big of a range. So, but yeah, it's really cool. Like just in this year now, we're 13 episodes into doing this now. Um, a solid year now. We did have one show that we always call it the missing show, right? Where we recorded it,
Um,
and it was the
yeah.
silent film episode, which was ironic because it was silent. The audio didn't work. And we
Yeah.
never went back to do it because it would have threw everything off. It would have been fake to just, to change it. Anyway, but we been doing this for over a year now, and it's crazy how like just how much you've grown in over the year. And I know that you were kind of watching a lot of films as more of a, it's like a marathon. Like, let's see how much I could squeeze in. And I know you enjoy writing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
as you get older and you mature, and you're kind of growing into what you're gonna do, when it comes to film. It's like that's the secret. Like maybe to me, I've always loved like the therapeutic aspect of film. Like, what does it? I really do, and this is like compare things to real life situations, or helps
Yeah,
people
of
really
course.
like you basically see yourself through a film. You identify with a film
All
by
the
putting
time. Yeah.
yourself in there, and those are the ones, like I said, that really matter to me. But maybe as you decide what you're going to do with your writing, and your career involving film, write about that. Like maybe talk about how it really is like a study of life. How it's like you grow through it with stages of life. Like I always picture there's so many movies I still want to see, but like I have plenty of years to go, and I could see myself retired, and like, okay, now I got my library built, I got my screening room ready. I mean, I had that now, but besides doing the VR thing, I have a screening room as well. It's what I always watch films in. But I
Yeah.
want to get back to that, and just like I have a whole library of stuff and a whole want list and watch list of stuff to always get through. There's so many years to come. So whatever stage you're in, you're still a cinephile. You're still, you know, it doesn't mean that you changed. You're just in a different phase. Like, we call it, it went down a rabbit hole. Like for me, I loved like directors. Like I love watching a film by a director and then like realizing, wow, I got to see more by that director, or more from
Yeah.
that country,
Oh,
or,
yeah. I still do that.
you know. So you're saying right now you're kind of more in like what you just enjoy. Like you'll throw on, a rerun of the damn Chipmunks movie if you want, like watch it for the 10th
If I
time,
want,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. So with that said, we could be really quick before we get into our first segment. But like, what is something that you did watch this month, even if it's that, even if it's an old movie that you will
No,
rewatch?
of course. Well, okay, the rewatch, I'll say I rewatched Stand By Me, and I think that's like
Mm,
really good. I haven't seen that in a long time. I think it's a very like meaningful film, and it's actually really short, so I think a lot of people can enjoy it because it kind of like um it gets a lot done in a short amount of time. It doesn't outstay its welcome, and like there's a lot of I don't really know the right word. Like it's charming, but it's also really sad. It's like bittersweet.
yeah.
That's really what it is. Um, but it's like a simple film, and it's meant for all ages. So I think Stand By Me is like a film that aged like incredibly well.
Oh
And
yeah.
then the new film I watched, I'm just gonna say Top Secret because I'm still thinking about it. It's been like
Nice.
a few weeks, well, a
Yeah,
couple
I
weeks
was
now.
almost gonna do for still it'll be a secret at the end or what we're going to do for next month, but I was going to do comedy, and that's why I finally got Top Secret on Blu-ray, and I was like, maybe that will what we'll do a comedy that I want to spring on you,
Yeah,
because I really see Top Secret as it's like a slapstick comedy, but the reason I really wanted you to see it is because it's like it's a ode to cinema. Like even the shots and
it
the
is. Yeah,
spoofs they do, it's about cinema, about
yeah,
movie making, and
yeah,
not as much as some people would go full on about that theme or be meta about it, but no, just like the little camera tricks they did or the little things. I love all those kind of things. Anyway, so I couldn't wait. I had to make you watch that movie. We couldn't wait. It
Well,
was
yeah, I'm happy you did because
yeah,
I remember parts of it from what I seen when I was little. I never seen the entire
yeah,
film, I don't think, and if I did, I fell asleep or something. But you probably didn't
yeah.
show it to me. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really funny. There's a lot of memorable parts.
And I'm kind of in a I'm in the same thing. Like right now, and this, we took a road trip to Arizona last week, and we're driving through the desert and listening to music, and I'm like playing like yacht rock and like old rock and like 70s 80s rock and pop music, and it's like it's right now I'm in a real phase of watching films that had great soundtracks from that era, and that's what made me go out and buy finally the Fast Times at Ridgemont High sound
Oh yeah,
film on Criterion. And it's just because I'm just in a real mode right now of watching films. Doesn't matter quality or anything. It's just like good music in it. Like and it's a nostalgic time in my life right now too. I think
yeah,
a lot of us are in nostalgia, but like right now I'm really noticing it. Like I went down a whole rabbit hole of Kiss. Like I was a huge Kiss
yeah,
fan in the '70s. Watched some videos on Kiss. Just went down that rabbit hole. It's the freaking YouTube how they get you, algorithm, and it makes you see more
yeah,
and more and
yeah,
more. And then I was like watching all this behind the scenes of Chris Meets the Phantom. I went out and freaking bought that movie on Blu-ray. I never had it, and it's like
yeah,
I didn't show it on here. That would have been fun to do it, but like I just couldn't wait to watch it. You know, and that too. It's like so nostalgic, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. So, uh, as much as there's so much still good movies being made now, and it's kind of in a little rut now. But right now in the summer, there is a lot more coming out. Like Eddington, we still got to see. I was supposed to see it yesterday, but we
yeah,
definitely gotta get to that before it leaves theaters. Um,
yeah.
and then Weapons is coming out. So there are a lot of things that's going to get me back in that
Aronofsky has a
mode.
new film too.
Yeah, and then P.T. Anderson. Did you see the trailer for P.T.'s new film with Leonardo DiCaprio,
Oh yeah, I
Battlefield or
totally
something like
forgot
that?
about
Or
that.
and so there's and then and
So
my
like
point is there's a lot
something I
coming
forgot.
up, and I know that there's plenty of time to get back in that mode. I'm gonna get back in that mode. Before you know it, Oscar time is coming. You cram everything in before the end of the year. We're already getting there, but what's right around the corner right now is Halloween. So like me, I'm just all about horror films during that time. I just love soaking up the season. And
Yeah,
but right now, like I said, right now is nostalgic '80s sex comedies.
yeah,
Just that's what I'm into. Good soundtracks, and then but horror is right around the corner. And as far as what today's show is Suspiria, which is my all-time favorite, one of my top three horror films of all time, and then the remake. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back with our guest Nick Woods, who's a local filmmaker and partner of mine in the Sin City Horror Club here in Las Vegas. Um, and we cornered him and said, "Hey, let's rewatch Suspiria." And not only the original but the remake. So we're going to talk about that. Anything else you wanted to add before we move on?
Oh yeah, I also want to say that I watched Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 early this month, and I was like,
Huh.
honestly, I hate Rob Zombie. Everything I've ever seen from him was bad or I
Yeah.
didn't like. Then I
Yeah.
watched Halloween 2, which like totally broke all the rules of the Halloween films, and I was like, okay, this film is actually not that bad, which was surprising. But
Yeah.
I actually I praise him for like just going so like away from what people expected and then making something solid out of it. Not perfect, not even great, I'd say, but pretty good, which is respectable for Rob Zombie,
Funny because
in my opinion.
I was just watching some videos of like set visits on Halloween, and I'm like, oh, I want to watch it again. Like, see, I'm gonna make myself wait, because Halloween's right around the corner. I'm gonna get into all those again, and the more I do revisit the remakes, even the David Gordon Green ones, and like I'm just like they're just so rewatchable. Like they're not great, but they're just nostalgic and fun, and that's why they're there. That's why they're doing well.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
understand.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. We'll get to that. Definitely getting back into all those. All right. Well, we will take a break, and we'll be right back with the original Suspiria and our guest Nick Woods. Okay, welcome back to the Cinema Snobs VR cast, and we have our guest here, Nick Woods from the Sin City Horror Club. Nick
Hey
Woods,
there.
aka Ghostchaser Knik. Nick, we'll
Mm-hmm.
definitely get into a little bit more about yourself when we close it out. We introduced you last episode, bringing you in here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk Suspiria. First of all, Suspiria, 1977. Tell us,
Mm-hmm.
number one, when you first saw it, and then your rewatch. We'll get into how it felt watching it again after all these years.
Yeah, so actually the first time I saw it was with Claudia Simonetti's Goblin playing the live performance of the
Beautiful.
score with it. So I don't know if I felt like that was like this is the way to freaking see this movie when I saw that was a and I just hadn't watched it before. I wasn't really that into Italian horror at the time. Um, and of course their performance was insane, but of course the performance is what you're paying attention to less the movie
Yeah,
when you're watching
a
it.
lot of
And
distraction.
so yeah, well, it's just, I mean, which is that you're there to see the band, but I didn't realize how much I didn't retain from
Mm,
it until I rewatched it this time. So it was kind of seeing it like for the first time again, because I remember the band playing. I didn't really
right.
remember the movie as much. But no, I really upon watching it a second time, like also I wasn't really much of a filmmaker at the time when I saw that, and now I am, so I see it totally differently.
Nice.
Like I like the lighting. It's so this movie. I don't know if if this is like I think art transference of art just kind of happens subliminally. I think people are aware of when they do things that are homaging
Yeah.
whatever. But every YouTuber in the world uses pink and blue lights to accent their freaking backdrops. And
Right.
that's what this freaking movie is, right? And so I was watching it after, seeing it from that perspective, and I was like, man, they're totally ripping off this freaking the look at this movie. Like everybody does that when they do like a YouTube video or something like that, or like yeah, they're
Yeah.
like an actual like YouTube host or something. And I really love the cinematography is just unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's really gorgeous. And that's the lighting, also like the sets, the color use of color is just insane. Yeah, I really just seeing it from that perspective, it was just
Yeah.
kind of eye candy to me.
Well, funny enough,
Now that I can appreciate it, you
that's
know.
funny because Jake, your first time seeing it was also when we saw Goblin and Simonetti scored it live. So
Oh
that
no
was your
shit,
first time.
that's cool.
We,
Wait,
yeah, you
was
saw it
that
in
my first
L.A.
time?
Yeah, remember we saw
Oh yeah,
this.
it was.
The first time you saw Suspiria was with the band, just like Nick
Yeah,
here.
and like in contrast to what Nick was saying, like you were paying attention more to the band. Like I was really like, I was trying to watch the film as much as possible, and I thought the band, like, yeah, they did a great job. Like, yeah, the score is amazing. It's one of the best, but like, I was
Mhm.
like,
But
Yeah.
I'd rather just watch the film normally the first time, but like, not gonna lie, that was such a privilege to watch it that way though,
Yeah.
because
yeah,
like there's so much love for the film there, and like in a way, it was ideal, even though I would have
I
preferred to
think
like
it's just
see it
about
longer.
having. You can always revisit the movies
Of course, yeah, and
elsewhere.
I
You know
have
what I
multiple
mean?
times, yeah.
And that
Yeah,
was the first
yeah.
thing you said after you saw the screen. Like, now I need to watch this film and really give it some attention. That's the first thing
Yeah,
you
Yeah,
and
yeah,
mentioned.
I have,
and
and
it's
I'd like to
still.
again.
I'm, s- I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you. It became eye candy to me just rewatching it.
Yeah.
So
So in other
yeah,
words, the cinematography is really what stuck out to you on this rewatch more than anything.
I
I mean,
love
there's
it.
just so
Yeah, I
much, but
really
that,
do.
yeah. I mean, for me
Yeah,
too. Like,
just in the shot, the framing of the shots is beautiful. I believe they're shooting in anamorphics, but it's not super noticeable. Like they don't use a lot of heavy anamorphic bokeh in the shots. They allow their like shots to be a little more stopped down and fill it more with light, and it still looks kind of dark, which is really cool.
mhm.
But you get a lot of depth in the shots. The composition's great. The lighting's amazing. And part of that's the sets too, right? Because the color of the sets contributes to the cinematography,
Yeah.
right? And there's so many like rich colors, solid rich colors in this movie, which I really loved.
Well,
So,
the whole thing that this movie was inspired by. There's a lot of inspirations in the story and
mhm.
everything, but was Disney. Like, if you watch a lot of behind the scenes and
Oh,
Argento
really?
talk about this, is the Technicolor of like Snow White in that time.
Mm,
That was a big
gotcha.
inspiration and style he was going for. And also, if you
That's
notice
interesting.
that a lot of the original script was written for like 13, 14-year-old girls, and they obviously
Really?
didn't want to do the violence with that. So yeah, it was supposed to be like
Hmm.
teens, like teenager girls. That's why it was but what they did to kind of visually throw you off
What's an
on that,
Argento films?
no, it
So,
was if you notice, like a lot of the doors, the door knobs were
mhm.
higher, so they wanted to make the girls look like little girls, if you notice
Oh, I
that.
didn't notice that. That is cool. I
And
never
even like
noticed that before.
the dialogue, remember how like they were talking to each other, like your
Hmm.
S is for snakes, you're a snake, like so
Yeah,
cheesy,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
little
yeah,
catty
yeah.
girl talk. That was because a lot of
Yeah.
the script was made for girls. Yeah, and that was a
So is
kind
that
of a
is
turnoff.
that why the script is that why the I feel like a lot of the lines in this movie were didn't need to be said. Like there are a lot of lines in this film in the script that seem like this is already evident, and they're saying the thing that just happened or whatever. And I
Yeah,
wonder
That's just
if the script
Argento.
is more geared towards kids, that would make sense.
yeah,
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
but it's just Argento
It's
too.
written to be easy to understand. You know.
yeah. And plus, that's
So.
also just Italian film in general. They really translate things over in a really basic, like when you hear it in
Hmm.
Italian, it just sounds beautiful and like poetic. But then when you
Sure.
hear it in English, it just sounds kind of like just bad English,
Yeah.
like just like
Yeah, the translations definitely
yes,
felt like, yeah, we know that happened. We just saw it happen. Why are you saying
yes,
it
Yeah,
happened?
yeah.
Yeah, they did a lot of that in the movie. I was like, oh, okay, but it's not like I'm necessarily watching it for the dialogue. You know what
right.
I mean?
And
Like
that's why,
I'm watching it for the.
as much as I want to have people watch this film and I recommend this movie to a lot of people, it's usually
Mhm.
like kind of a bad thing for when they've never seen Italian movies, because they're the first thing that takes you out of
Mm,
it is like the dialogue, the dubbing is bad, and it's just like
mm,
that takes you out of the film. You you gotta be like a little bit more keen on watching subtitle or not subtitle, but foreign films to
mm.
respect everything else of the filmmaking, like the
Well, this is
cinematography and
shot
everything
in
else.
that Tower of Babel way where everybody speaks their own native language when they do their
Right.
lines, right?
That too. That's
So you
very.
have two English-speaking actors in the room with the two Italian-speaking
Mm-hmm.
actors, and and they're saying, and then so the Italian got so everybody's dubbed over, everybody's ADR, but the two English-speaking girls, it matches their
Right.
mouth, like
Yeah. So that's kind of
so.
it's a big turnoff for a lot of people. But like, if you really get used to watching these films, then you'll start to see through that, and you forget that. You kind of like now you start looking at
Mhm.
everything else, just the cinema of it, the poetic,
I think you have
the
kind of maybe
elements.
you have to be a bit of a cinephile to appreciate it, just because
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, like I recently watched The Last Showgirl with Pamela Anderson, who was shot
Right.
here in Vegas, and that was just eye candy for me. Shot on Super 16. The colors are really like pastel and muted.
Hmm.
Love the way it looks. This film has a similar look, and
Hmm.
for me, I just love that shit. You
Oh, I
know,
haven't
like
seen
the
that yet, but yeah, that's cool to hear.
oh, it's a gorgeous, beautifully shot film. But yeah, for me, like the cinematography, I don't know. I can feel it in my. It sounds weird, but I can feel it in my chest when I really like the cinematography. I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
explain it, but I can kind of feel it like
Honestly,
in
I
my
get that
gut. It's
feeling
so
too.
weird.
Not
Do you
about
really? It's like a vision.
cinematography, but
It's. Mhm.
like with some things, like when I see like a film that ends well, and I'm like, damn, that was good, and I just like get like chills. I'm like, I feel it literally in my chest. So like, I understand that. It's
Yeah.
weird.
Since you're younger, I'm going to ask you a question. When
Yeah.
you finish a film that's really freaking great, do you have this like feeling of like peace or like resolution when
Oh
the
hell
film's over?
yeah! It makes
You're
my
like,
month.
oh, that's so good.
Mhm.
See,
Yeah,
I used to experience that when I was a teenager. I would feel this like
yeah,
euphoria after a movie was over. You know,
yeah, yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
true. Yeah,
Yeah,
when it's
for
like
real. I
genuinely
love that.
that good, like I get that feeling like a
Like you
few
don't
times
want
a
to say
year almost.
anything to interrupt the moment because it's
Oh
like
hell
the
no.
movie's over and it's just so freaking perfect. Yeah, I
Yeah,
love
like
that
like I
feeling.
remember one time I was finishing a film. I can't remember what it was. My brother came in the room and I was like, "Damn, you actually just ruined the moment." Like
Buzzkill.
Dude,
seriously.
I know, dude.
Like
I
that
used to
sucks.
experience that all the time. I had a list of
Yeah.
movies that all made me feel that way at the end of them,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my god,
Yeah.
for real, for
Well,
real.
funny, you
So, but
bring that
yeah,
up,
but this.
but bringing that up, like that's how I felt watching this movie. I first saw this film 2002. It was when
Oh, okay.
The Anchor Bay, put it out on Blu-ray or not Blu-ray, on DVD for the first time, and
Okay.
I never even. This is my story, and I say this a lot. I really wrote this in like an article one time when I was
Mm,
doing reviews and stuff. But like this film has a big connection to me because when I was 7 years old,
mm,
1977, right? Okay, 7 years old. You
yeah.
probably you were a twinkle in your
I
mom and
wasn't even
dad's eye.
born yet. I was born in 80,
But
83.
so
So,
this movie came out in 77, and I'll never forget the commercial. And remember, we watched the commercial, the trailer, I should say. The trailer
yeah.
was the woman. It was a woman with her head turned, saying "Roses are red,
Hmm.
violets are blue," and then she turned her head, and it was
Yeah.
a skeleton. Well, that commercial
Yeah.
came on when 7 years old, and it was on regular television in Chicago, right? Because it was
Oh,
played in the
wow.
big cities, and that trailer
Yeah.
scared the shit out of me. Like just because it was spooky, it was something that spoke to me, and it was not just
Yeah.
it was the voice. It was like the colors,
Mm,
everything just jumped out at me. And when that trailer came
yeah.
on, I used to be scared. And I remember I had two older brothers. My brothers used to say, "Hey Jimmie, come here," and I'd go in the front room, and it's on again.
Hmm.
I'm from
Oh
Chicago.
God, they
You're
do
from
things. They know
Chicago, they
you
say
hated
front
it.
room, and they're like,
Yeah.
Jimmie, it's on again. And like, you jerks, like they knew that trailer scared me, and at that that scared the shit out of me. Anyway, fast forward, I never even knew the name of the film. I didn't remember it. I just knew that
Oh
was
wow.
subconsciously burned in my brain that scared me. So then I
Mm,
heard about this film, and I finally got to watch it. I was waiting to watch this film, because
hmm.
I never did jump ahead to get it on VHS. I just was waiting for the
Sure.
DVD to come out. Anyway, watched the whole
Yeah.
thing, blew me away, and then of course I watched all the supplements and I watched the trailer. And when I put that
Hmm.
trailer on, my
You're like,
hair
this is that
on my
movie.
arms went straight up in goosebumps. Like this
That's
is the
so
movie
funny.
that haunted me when I was 7 years old. So that was
Yeah.
like instantly just fell in love with the film, going like, this movie is calling my name. It's meant to be.
Yeah, it's
And
got a special place in your heart.
yes.
Clearly, yeah. Because if it's tapping into that like sense of fear that you have when a kid, it's a different type of fear.
Yeah. And I really was
You
scared
know.
watching this film. These campy, like I said, and I was already kind of little schooled on watching Italian films, not too much. But
Mhm.
after this one,
Yeah.
it was just the right moment for me to watch it, and then it really did scare me. Like, because witches is
Yeah.
also one of the scary. Like, you talk about Dracula, Mummy, and all these monsters. Witches is what scares me. Still to this day, witch
I think
stories.
I think just because and this is something that's more like pertaining to the second to the remake, so maybe I
Yeah.
shouldn't say it, but something that they do a lot with witches now is there's this kind of um uh, like this erratic emotional display, this chaotic emotional display of women that I
Hmm.
think you can't really do that with men. There's something about it when the women are convulsing and freaking out. There's something really kind of terrifying about it.
Well, it really is a man's fear.
You know,
It's meant like witches are
yeah,
men's fear, like powerful women. At
yeah.
least that
But
tapped into me.
not just powerful women, but I think the chaotic feminine energy, that like erratic, because you see it in Robert Eggers' The Witch. They're
yeah.
by the campfire and they're all convulsing and stuff,
Mhm.
right? And like, if you've ever been around a woman who's losing her mind and crying and stuff like that, you don't know what to do, and you're like, I want to help, but I don't know how to. You feel a little powerless. But then
Yeah.
this is kind of like that in a way that is distorted and turned up to 11. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What they
Right.
do in these
Well, let's
films, which
definitely get
I find
into
it
that.
fascinating.
Yes,
Mhm.
you're right. We'll definitely get onto that in the remake, because I think they cover a
Yeah, it's
lot
even
that
crazier
as
than
far
that.
as
They
this
do, yeah.
one.
They do more of that in the sequel.
But as far as
the
this one,
remake,
like the original, it set the tone for, I mean, like number one, like for it to ever be remade, you know, whoever thought all these years later. But it's funny, and it's another thing that goes back to my first screening of this, is I remember saying, and this is before I even like ever shot a music video, right? Did anything with filmmaking,
Sure.
because I was just purely just a
Yeah.
DJ. And I was like, number one, we can get on the music too, but the music blew me away. And that's when I really connected. Like, oh my God, there's synths and everything. And there's, you know, tweaking.
Yeah.
There's the arpeggiators, all these things I love about techno and electronic music. So that blew me away. But after this, is I was like, I want to start making movies, and I want to remake this movie one day. That's how arrogant I was. I want to remake this movie. So fast forward, it got done, and I was like, and of course, you know, who am I to do it? But I mean, it was just kind of like, it was so inspiring that it really made me. Yeah, that's why I brought this movie up, and that's why I talk about it a lot, because it really was the one that kicked me off. Yeah.
Yeah, I think also like there's a couple different things that Italians do really well. One is the music. So even really shitty Italian films have great scores.
Yep.
You know, like, you know, there are, I don't know what it is, but the composers are just so solid. Like, such a small place, how do they have such a high concentration of amazing composers? But they do. And also, they really have all these directors really have an eye and an aesthetic for who's your beautiful key woman character going to be. Like, they really have an eye for that. You watch spaghetti westerns, it's the same way. And I can't remember the actress's name who's the lead in this, but she's gorgeous, man. She's beautiful. And she's young and innocent. Casting somebody that has that look, it's important.
Those eyes,
because you need to be able to buy into that character. Yeah, you need to be able to buy into that character. And if they don't really have the look that can like portray a sense of innocence and wonder and fear, if they don't lend to that, some girls just buy the look and their attitude. They don't portray those vibes. You know what I mean? And casting can be really crucial for that. And I think they really nailed it with this one.
Yeah, Jessica Harper. It was all about her eyes. I remember just saying, like, man, if you capture like so much was going on in her head by just her eyes. You know, fear was captured in her. Yeah, she was great at this. And funny enough, I remember thinking too, like, all right, like I said, I always remember thinking remake someday, and I was like, Christina Ricci's eyes. That's who I thought would be a good Jessica Harper.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Anything, Jake? Jake, how about you? Like rewatching it again, like your feeling of seeing it again. Like, is it always like something that is like, I can see why, you know, people love this, or you liked it from day one and kind of appreciate it from day one, or did you? What was your rewatches like?
I mean, honestly,
especially your age.
Deep Red.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Deep Red's like my new favorite Argento. Not officially though.
Deep Red's great, yeah.
But like, Suspiria is like easily one of the best looking films ever made, and it still has one of the best soundtracks ever. So like, yeah, I mean, I think Nick had some great insight and said a lot of things that I never really thought about, or just never really like said out loud. So like, I think he said it all really. I mean, yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah, he did mention, like, I think, again, this is what we talk about, like, Jake likes more highbrow, you know, like, and like Deep Red is definitely a really, really great detective story. It was really the king of Giallo.
I mean,
it's more of a Giallo film,
Argento
right?
never really made like a smart, like an actual like intelligent film. Like, his intelligence has like, it has a bar, like, but at the same time, like, I don't think he ever aims to like actually truly like throw in something like extremely philosophical. and if he wants to, then it'll be more about like fear or whatever. Because he's
Right.
like,
think
the master of horror and stuff. Like, I want to truly scare the audience. Like, yeah, Suspiria genuinely is scary because it has like the conspiracy idea,
Yep.
even though it really didn't age to like be as scary as it probably was in the 70s. But
Mhm.
like, witches are scary. My dad has a good point. Yeah, it's scary. So
I think the thing is you have to look at the Italian aesthetic culturally as a whole to really understand Italian film. Ferraris, right? Ferraris aren't trying to make any kind of philosophical statement or be a
Mhm.
deep interpretive
yeah,
piece
Oh,
of
yeah.
art. They're built to look sexy, go fast, and be badass. And Italian
yeah,
film is kind of the same way. Spaghetti westerns were that way. Like there was a lot more killing in spaghetti westerns. The shots are sexier,
Yep.
right? They weren't necessarily always trying to say something philosophically deep. Sometimes they had a lot
yeah,
of jokes in them and stuff. And I think that Italian horror is the same way,
Yeah,
right? They're
you
not
nailed
trying to
it.
make some they're
You
not
nailed
trying
it.
to
yeah.
make
That's
some
true.
deep philosophical statement. They're trying to scare the shit out of you and look good doing it.
Right. And that's why
Yeah,
they always
and
You know
upped
what I
it.
mean? Like,
They upped it when it
that's
comes to
it.
violence. They
Yeah.
upped it when it comes
Yeah,
to
they upped
looks,
it with the
beauty,
violence,
beautiful women, the clothing,
yeah,
everything.
beautiful women, the cinematography, the colors of the sets, all of those things, the aesthetics. That's a Renaissance thing. That is an
Yep.
Italian thing,
Which is why I
and I
love
think they're
Italianism.
really good at it. Yeah, I know it, and that's what I'm saying. Like as a filmmaker myself, one of the things that I try to tell other people who are new is that controlling your colors in the shot is the cheapest way to elevate your cinematography, right? So you can do that with what like sets you choose, and you can do that with what your characters are wearing.
Right.
And this film does that really well, right? Like the front facade of this building is like a rich, deep red, isn't it? The front facade is like
Oh, yeah.
totally red,
Yep.
like
Yep.
really
It's like a
rich
deep
red.
red.
Like
Deep
they're
red.
like, yeah, and the set, and one of the things that I really loved about it is the set building in this, because they are sets. These aren't found locations. I was
Mm-hmm.
really kind of astounded by that. Upon a second watching, you start to notice, oh, that's actually a built set. That's not an actual building,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I realized that's one of the things that I freaking loved about it was that they don't really do much of anymore is the amount of work that is put into just the scenery and the sets being awesome,
Right.
right? In these movies, they really put so much work into it, and now with everything being green screen or found sets, like it's not really the same.
no, I
um
agree with you.
and they can really control the colors in their shot, and so like that first opening kill with the stained glass window,
Oh.
all that stuff's fabricated for that kill. That's not a found place that
Right.
they
It's like we
decided to like.
we made this to make
Yeah,
this kill look as beautiful. That's
yeah.
what I love
They make
about
the
it. It's
kill
like
better.
Yeah,
let's
that wasn't like we found it. They didn't find a stained glass window. It's like let's throw someone through that. They said let's build a stained glass window with these colors
so
specifically,
the kill will
and
look
so we
even
toss
can
it.
throw
better.
it through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that is a level of artistry that I think is kind of lost in a lot of modern movies.
Oh, and
Personally,
Oh,
that's why
absolutely. Yeah.
this movie is freaking one of the best of all time. I love it.
yeah, it's so good.
Right on.
It's so
All right.
good.
Well,
Just
after
yeah.
after the rewatch, then what would you say star wise it remains or moved for you at all out of the 5-star letterbox
Talking about the
style?
first one, that's
Yeah, this one.
first or
No, we're talking about the first one.
the
Yeah.
first one. Okay, I see the new poster up. So, the I would say I'd out of 5 stars.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I'd give it a solid 4. A solid 4 for me.
Okay. All right, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because he was praising it, and then I had a criticism on it, which I didn't mean for it to sound like
Drop it.
criticism, but
Drop
like I
it.
say
Say
4.5. So,
Yeah.
You had a criticism, but then you're gonna still give it bigger stars than me.
To
All right,
me,
cool.
to me, yeah, 4.5, and it would be a 5, but like I said, I leave that little bit of room because even though it is Italian film and it has the dubbing and the dialogue, it still is. It sucks because hey, Fellini and Visconti and all these other scholars, they made it work. I wish Argento could at least
Yeah.
made that work a little better. But 4.5
Yeah.
is definitely where I stand.
Yeah,
on it.
I don't mind the
Cool.
dubbing. It used to bother me, but you start to notice movies that are ADR'd in studio properly, like this film, and then you notice movies that are a mixture of both and they're not mixed well. That's the stuff that gets really annoying to
Yeah.
me when the audio mixes off in the dubbing. But this film didn't have that problem. The audio mix is fantastic, even though it's ADR'd, so it doesn't really bother me as far as I'm concerned. So.
All right, well, everybody, check if you haven't. I know I would assume most people have seen Suspiria already, the original, and so watch it again because it never gets old. It only gets better. So,
Oh,
all right.
Can I say one more? Can I say
Sure.
one more thing about it? The
Sure.
cinematographer, I was like, man, what else did he shoot?
Yeah.
And he shot which one was it? Wasn't Phenomena? He shot.
You mean of
Another
Argento
Argento film, Tenebrae. Tenebrae. He shot. The same
right?
cinematographer.
Tivoli is his last name. Something Tivoli.
Yeah.
Well, he did.
But then he shot Argento's Dracula 3D, which they shot digitally, and that came out in like 2009, I think, something like that. But it looks like a TV show. The way they shot it, it's like this does not look like the same quality of work. Well, because they're shooting digitally.
He also is known for being one of the best cinematographers in Italy. He made a film called The Conformist, and that's one of the best cinema, like the best.
Oh, damn,
work.
that's him.
Yeah, Tivoli.
Conformist.
And he also did The Fifth Chord. He shot The Fifth Chord. He does other Giallos, yeah. But here's a cool story, real quick. I have to tell you, and this is on the DVD extras, behind the scenes. But they were interviewing, just celebrities who are big fans of Suspiria, right? And they were talking to, the name will come to me. Is it something Fonda? She was a star of Single White Female. What's her name? Not Jane Fonda.
Bridget Fonda.
Bridget Fonda. So they were interviewing her, right? And she's telling a story how she was on set of Single White Female, and there's a scene where her mouth is taped, and she's tied to a chair, taped, and she didn't know this until literally in the middle of making the film. But she was tied up with her tape on her mouth, and they were talking about, the director was talking to the DP and said, like, so how did you do it in Suspiria? And he's like, and she was like wiggling, get me out of here, wiggling.
Yeah,
Take this tape, rip the tape off. Go, oh my God, you shot Suspiria? And she didn't know, but the DP shot Single White Female did Suspiria, and she was like geeked out, like didn't even know that. Like that's how.
He also shot Monkey Trouble.
Not familiar with that.
All right.
Monkey Trouble is a terrible 90s
I never heard of that.
No, Monkey Shines. Monkey Trouble, though. It's a really goofy movie, but he shot that too. So he had, in the 90s, he had a good run of American films, a good solid run.
Yeah, no, he's definitely one of those guys that was brought to America because of Suspiria and because of his work in Italy, for sure. Yeah, all right, guys, so we're going to cut it right here, and we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to go, and we are going to go and talk about the remake of Suspiria, the Luca Guadagnini's 2018 Suspiria, right after this break.
All right, and welcome back to the Cinema Snobs VR cast. Now we're going to be talking about the remake of Suspiria, which probably freaked out a lot of fans because, when fans of the original, obviously, because when someone says we're going to remake Suspiria after so many terrible remakes in the 21st century, they're like, okay, that's it. But if I remember correctly, the film he did before this was Call Me by Your Name. So anyone who's seen that and understood that was like, okay, we're in the clear. He's gonna make something great. And Suspiria in a lot of ways really is great. And I think it's daring and bold and shocking, even very violent. It kind of goes overboard in a lot of ways, artistically, even narratively. The cast, Tilda Swinton taking 3 roles, what the hell was that about? But I respect it. But yeah, it's a very ambitious film, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about it, especially Nick. It's something a little.
You want to dive right in, shall we?
Something wild, yeah. So let's get into that.
No, I think that there's something that happens. A little background. I grew up. My mom is an art historian, and she's also an abstract expressionist painter.
Okay.
And so I grew up in the art community, being our art showings and stuff like that in Kansas City all the time, and went and saw the Barnes collection with her and all sorts of stuff. In the art community, there is this ongoing grift that continues to happen in the art community,
Yeah.
where people's fear of being wrong about a piece of art allows a bad piece of art to remain victorious.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
And that is really common in the art world because people don't want to look uninformed, right?
Yeah.
And so you
Yeah.
have some artists that are absolute horseshit, and they become really
really are, yeah.
popular. They
Oh,
become really
yeah.
popular.
You ever see Bucket
right?
of Blood?
And yeah, and I think, even though I liked a lot of things about this film, I think a lot of the editing choices, and I think a lot of the like ways he was trying to inform the audience about this or that, I think felt really heavy-handed, and I felt there was this like, well, I'm being artsy about it, so you don't understand me type of a vibe.
Yeah.
I
Maybe,
really despise that when people do that in movies, right? Don't be pretentious, make a great film. And if you're not reaching your audience, if that's not your interest, that doesn't make you a good artist because you feel snobby about it, right? And you feel better than other people. You are a good artist by reaching, in film specifically, you're a good artist by reaching your audience. And I think this film, my hot take is this film fails to do that in a lot of areas because of the choices that are more devoted to the artist as opposed to devoted to the piece. And that is really common in the art community, and it's something when I start noticing it in a movie, I'm kind of like, usually it's about when this type of thing happens with me in a film, that the first half of the movie, I'm like, what am I missing? Am I missing something? Like, I feel like there are
sure.
pieces that I'm not getting. What is happening? And then you realize, oh, he's just straight up not fucking telling me because he's an artist.
Right. Right.
And I'm like, well, fucking stop, dude. Like, no, tell me. I want to be invested in these characters. Inform me. And it frustrated me upon the second rewatch of this film that Dr. What's his name that Tilda Swinton plays? I already forgot his name.
Same here.
That they really should have, the first act of the movie should have been his backstory. Like, why did they not? They only tell it
There was a lot
verbatim.
left. Yeah.
No, they
left
only explain it
unanswered.
verbatim in expositionally. And then they do some editing cuts here and there, and it's like, oh, now I'm supposed to really buy into this experience that I'm not really sure even what happened.
There
right?
definitely
And
was a
then by the
lot.
time-
Yeah.
And then by the end of the movie, they're like, oh, see, this is what happened with her, and this is why you're supposed to care. I'm like, you should have told me in the first act. Stop holding
or at least
back
wait
on
a little bit.
information.
Well,
So I
there's
think that's,
yeah. Sorry,
I think
go
that's
ahead.
what caused it. I don't think a lot of people can put their finger on it, but I feel like I can be, and I liked a lot of things about this film. I
Mhm.
just really despise it when people masquerade behind being an artiste, right? And they don't put the priority of the audience first. As a filmmaker, I
Hmm.
feel that way.
Hmm.
And so that they can be surrounded by a circle jerk of other art aficionados that say they were right. Is that what we're doing here? So there's a lot of things I really love about it, but I have to get that out of the way because it's something that every now and then creeps into film, and I just don't
Sure,
think
yeah.
it has any place in there. So
Yeah, I can respect that. And like, there's a lot of films that do exactly that, and like
Mhm.
they're not even like good. Even like this film is still great in a lot of ways.
That's still
Like
good.
there's
It's
some
still
films
Yeah.
that do
yeah.
that. I was like, dude, like what are you doing? Like it's not even good anyways. Like how can you be pretentious when like the foreground is already shit? But anyways, like
yeah.
I
I'm with you on that.
think since this film is so like centripetal on like people going absolutely insane and like things not having like actual rational answers, I think it's kind of okay for it to not go like for full circle with like explanation.
Yeah.
Even though yes, to a point it is pretentious. I think when I wrote a review, I probably did use the word pretentious to explain this film. But I
Mm.
mean, since we're watching the work from a director who I actually really appreciate, like when he did Challengers, like I praised the hell out of that film. I'm not sure what you
Mhm.
guys, or I'm not sure what you thought
I
about
look.
Challengers.
I don't think that. No, I still liked a lot of the things in the film, but I think the things that I liked the most were the things that were the most straightforward.
I see what
Of
you're
course, I
saying.
Right? When
mean,
she's
honestly,
Yeah.
me too. Same thing with this
when
one.
she's dancing and the other girl's
Yeah,
body's becoming crippled in the other
most
room.
memorable part.
That's a
Yeah,
freaking. That's probably the most memorable part of the whole movie,
Yeah.
and it's
yeah,
very a
absolutely.
1-to-1 ratio going on. So we have a very
Uh-huh.
direct connection going on. There's no confusion about it. We can enjoy the moment. We
Yeah,
can be
yeah.
thrilled by it, and that's a good payoff. And I thought that was brilliantly done.
All right. Well,
So,
let me
Yeah.
let me say my piece now.
Let's.
Um,
All right, sorry.
no, it's just no.
I got heated on this one.
No, I love it.
Nah,
I love it.
we
But like,
like
I'm
that.
not
We
gonna.
like that.
I'm not gonna sit here and just like. I agree with you on like your your taste in recognizing that, and you're completely right. But like, I'm just gonna say it, like, I love artists like that. I love artists that like
Yeah,
that
that was
like
elephant in the room. I know
So
my
you're
wax
one of
poetic.
them.
I no, it's okay. Let me be honest. When I first saw it, I didn't like it because I was like, okay, I didn't get it. Like, why is it so? It's too much to process. It's too deep. All right, artists, everything you're saying is how I felt on the first view, but I don't know how many times you seen it. But for me, this is my fifth or sixth time, and all I'm saying is that's what I love. Is now it's got so many more rewatchings and viewings and years to be to really even get better, because it gets better with every viewing because of that pretentiousness, because of that snobbery. Now and then when you watch like videos about like analyzing the film and like decoding it, I freaking love that. Like I love movies like this, but I'll be honest, it's not what I love at first. I mean, I tell Jake this all the time. Get Out, to me, the movie Get Out, okay, was the perfect example of having a message, having deep, a lot of symbolism, and a lot of metaphors and meaning on it, but it still worked on the first time watching it on the basic regular movie going level. Those are my favorite kind of art pieces, and like really film that is considered cinema and art, when you can get it on that basic level. But when there's so much still more to decode, that makes me love it even more. But this is one of the movies that you don't like it on the first one, but the more you do watch it, you start to appreciate, okay, now I know what he was trying to say. It took me 4 or 5 times to get there, but I love that. But I understand why people will never go back to it, though. You know, they
I'm
might
just
not
saying
give it a second
I'm
chance.
not talking about, don't mistake me. I'm not talking about putting the cookies on the bottom shelf and just like we talked about with the earlier film where they explain what just happened in the shot, right? Like, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I need to know at least enough about the character to if you want me to feel for Dr. Kemperer, is that his name?
Yes.
That's it.
Kemperer. If you want me to feel for him, you got to give me some information that causes me to create an emotional connection to him. And they didn't provide that information until the third act.
Well, let me agree with that right there. Let me stop you right there.
And dramatically, I don't think that works. And
I agree.
I'm not saying I need to know I don't think I need to know everything.
That's the failing of the movie. Everyone will agree with that, including me. They put way too much into the backstory of the film. It didn't need to be even this long. If the movie was shaved 30 minutes, it would have been perfect.
It was too long.
There was too much with him. I get that, but I can tell that was more of like Tilda Swinton's doing, because she produced the film. Like, she wanted to like really explore this depth of all these 3 layers, because there's id, super ego, and ego in her performances. That's something I
is that what it represents?
Yeah, so like her ego is the Tans, or not Tans, the teacher, the ballet teacher.
Yeah.
And then the super ego was
the doctor, and then
the
id is Marcos, right?
It is Marcos. So yeah, but like, it's just all these things that like, I think she really wanted to play that out, even though it probably would have not. It would have threw the audience off, which it did. But anyway, I was like, what I'm agreeing with is you're right. I think they did too much in that, and they didn't explain enough in that. But the more I do watch it, I kind of do want to pick apart that now. I want to get in depth of. I already know what the meaning of all the other metaphors and the hooks and the skin and all these different things that they're talking about that they did, that all has deep meaning, and like, those are already, I figured that out in the second watching, right? But like, the more you watch it, the more you want to pick apart the depth of the character of the because it's more understandable now. But like I said, I think first viewing, it's too much. It's too much to decode.
Yeah, I think. Well, I look at the epilogue. I guess it's fresh in my mind because I just watched it. But the epilogue of the film establishes 2 things, right? That Susie is now the head of the coven, right? It establishes that she walks in and the girl says, "How did you get here?" And she says, "Go outside," and the girl just goes outside, right? So she's like, clearly has this bewitching power that's exemplified in that moment. So we're establishing that, right? That whatever Marcos's spirit has been transferred into Susie's body or whatever. Or not, wasn't Marcos? It was the other one, that demon looking thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. And
there was another level. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, there was another level. Yeah, there. And then she sits down, and then what she wants to do is like tell Dr. Kemp that about what actually happened with wife, which
Guilt.
I
It was about guilt.
I could see a way of doing that scene to where it made her more frightening, and then she's giving a level, and then she's kind of baiting and switching and be giving some grace. I could see a way of doing that would have been cooler to me, like but instead it was very kind of understated.
Yeah, I
And
think the movie.
it's like
I think the movie could have ended like I forgot that we even had an epilogue to go, because after that whole like crazy batshit ending with with the demon coming out and like everyone's
blood.
bled and all that bloodbath at the end could have ended right there, and that was enough to like be really head scratching and there's a lot of depth. But then for them to have to go for like the whole doctor, like I said, that whole subplot really didn't need to be there, but now that it is there and it's, like I said, multiple viewings, it's kind of appreciated. But I actually think it would have worked more commercially and more people would have liked the movie if it ended right there. It didn't need all the doctor stuff. But yeah, but as far as that, to me, the whole thing was guilt. Like he had that guilt that he didn't do nothing to save his wife. And the witch said, I'm going to give you that. I'm going to spare you that. So she basically took away. She took away, like, for you being the witness, because that's what he was. He was the witness to everything. Your reward is to now live in peace and not have guilt no more.
That's an interesting take. Yeah, I realize that's what's going on. She said that she felt bad. They wanted him to be the witness, but then she said that she felt bad about what her daughters did to him, which I was like, you do? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Like ripping bodies apart. Are you sure you feel bad about this?
Yeah. Well, he woke up. It's literally a Men in Black moment, right? Where they put the wand in front of your eyes, and like that's what they did. That's what she did to him. Like, forget about everything you saw. So when he shook out of, he was shaking in bed. I know you just got done seeing it. He was shaking in bed, and then he kind of like,
oh, it fucked him up.
Oh, I'm good. Hey, I'm back. No, he's back. He forgot everything. I just love the the witches, the coven. I love
creepy.
They made them so.
I think that the two standout pieces are like I said, the first dance performance where she becomes contortionally crippled, and then this final big set piece with all the witches and the bloodbath and stuff. And what's the name of the actual next level evil that comes out, because they had Mother Superiorum is Marcos,
right? I don't know the name of it, but it was really just saying that she thought that Superiorum was the lead witch, like that was. But
there's more.
But the
thing is, Summa Lacarum, I think, is what they said, and then you hear the girls say. Then you hear the girls say, "Hey, Summa Lacarum, Summa Lacarum." You hear them say it to each other in the epilogue, after all that happens. That's how they're greeting each other. Oh. Yeah, so it's the name. I believe that's what it is, because it's written in Dr. Kemp's book. He has 3 different mothers. Mother is Suspiriorum, and Summa Lacarum is one of them. So I guess that's the big bad. The big bad is Summa Lacarum, I guess. But
and that's the thing. I want to see it again now, because it's like, okay, I got to figure that out. It still isn't all figured out.
Yeah. The pieces are there. I'm not saying that the pieces aren't. I'm not saying the pieces aren't there. I'm saying that I think they should have been rearranged. We should have known more about Dr. Kemp.
Yes, they weren't delivered. They weren't delivered a little easier. They were
at the right sequence.
Yes,
yeah.
And believe me, I don't like spoon-fed cinema, but
that's probably the most common criticism of the film. Is like that whole thing with the doctor, because first of all, it changes a lot from the original, which honestly, when a remake does that, like I give a lot of respect to it, because like no one wants to see like how Gus Van Sant, or however you say his name, remade Psycho, literally by the same freaking shots. Like that's cool as an experiment, but like it wasn't even good either. But like when a film wants to change everything entirely, that's cool. But like that means it's got to top the original, which is ballsy as hell.
I'll say this though, as much as my criticisms about the artsy, pretentious bullshit of this film, I will say at least it wasn't some freaking like 1-to-1 formulaic bullshit, because I think no one would have wanted that, right? Like that would have been so infuriating. Unique. Yeah, it is incredibly unique. It's an entirely different story. It really is. Like the characters are the same. Also, we were talking about colors in this film. Can we shift to that real quick?
Oh yeah.
Because of course they both take place in Germany. Both place in Germany, but one of them's shot in Germany and one of them's shot in Italy. and that is very visible when you review them side by side, because Italy has all these buildings and facades that are very rich and colorful and kind of playful almost. And German brutalist architecture is radically different. It's
Yeah,
so
like
geometric
dread.
and dirty and drab. And the remake is all those colors.
Well, the
it's
original
very muted.
Just to let you know, the original is Germany as well. It's just
It's
that
Germany as well.
it's Germany. That's why they
Did
set
they
it in
shoot
Germany.
it there though?
I don't know if they
shot
shot
it?
it there. They
Probably
yeah, they,
inside.
they actually did.
That's what I'm saying.
They actually did shoot it in
oh.
Germany. It's in Munich.
It
I think
looks-
it's outside of Munich. Because remember, they even
Our
showed it.
location.
Remember in the original? Okay, when they quick shot, but they showed like the opera house when they were doing the German dancing and stuff. That's because it's in Germany, and it even says it in the opening dialogue of the film. It's
But
Susie
a lot of
Banyan
the
arrives in
facades, a lot of
Germany
the
for-
facades, but a lot of the facades to the
it's
buildings,
Italian style. It's Italian. It's
a lot
very
of
Italian.
facades to the buildings that they built don't look German at all. They look very Italian.
Yeah, but it's the
that
colors,
airport,
and stuff.
yeah.
It's the colors.
Yeah. Yeah,
So what you're saying is it
absolutely,
was very bright in Italian style, but the Germany 1977 was really Luca was like, okay, I'm going to really make it what Germany 77 really was, which was drab.
It has the brutalist architecture. Yeah,
and it was also
Yeah.
during the war. It was during the division of East and West Germany. So that was what he captured. Whereas 77 Argento, he didn't talk about that at all. But that's
he ignored
what was
it
going
entirely.
on. Right.
Yeah.
So
Well, 'cause it was probably controversial, like for real.
He probably was like, let's just ignore that part of this situation we're in.
But overall,
Yeah,
you guys talk about originality. That's what was cool. It's like, how do you top it? Like, he's not going to top it. He's going to be original in every way. Like, if you think about it, the score, what is the score of Suspiria known for? Is being amazing, bombastic, and crazy, right? So in other words, the score is great. Now for this one, the score is great, but it's completely different. It's completely original.
Yeah.
And then the cinematography,
Tom York stuff.
Yeah, the cinematography was original.
Totally forgot it was him.
Yeah.
Everything was original in this film.
Mm-hmm.
It's just original in a completely 180 from the original.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is. The colors are muted. They're not bright. It's definitely a way that, like, the first film, they're kind of handing all the information to you. This one, they don't really put anything on the bottom shelf at all. And it's incredibly ambitious. I will say that one of the things that I literally liked about this film, and I like about a lot of modern horror, is when the gore is so good, you can't even tell that it's fake. Like, that's something that's happening with horror films right now, is the prosthetic makeup effects are so amazing that it just, you don't look at it and you don't think, oh, that's a cool effect. You're like not even thinking that. You're thinking like, whoa, she's pulling her guts out. What the fuck? Like, whereas when you're watching like an 80s horror film, there's something about watching the artistry of the gore, like, oh, this is really cool. It's really interesting to watch that somebody built this. This film, along with a lot of newer horror films, the gore effects are so good that you're just having a visceral response to it. You're not looking at it like it's a special effect anymore.
Yeah.
And I really liked that. So
yeah, it paid tribute in a lot of different ways, but it also just was like Luca did his thing in a very cinematic way. Like he was inspired by the cinema of Argento and the freedom he had, but he did it like the way that it should be done as a remake and modernized. I think he hit it out of the park. But you're right, there are some faults. So now we'll talk about stars, because that's the thing. It's like, to me, I really wanted to give it a high rating, but it's going to remain a 4 to me, because you're right. It's long. There's a lot of fluff. But I think I can literally say, if I watch this movie a year from now again, it might be a 4.5, and then 5 years from then another 5, because I just find more.
It's growing on you. Some films do that.
It's growing on me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's rare, by the way. My dad rarely ever does that. So
right,
he actually really likes it.
And my first viewing was a 3.5 out of anger. I was like, "Fuck, man, I wanted more color," and but I'm like, "Wait a minute, why? Why would he do that?"
No, I don't actually really liked the muted brutalist color, like architectures. I actually really dug that. It's a different thing, but I dug it. So
very cool. All right, so Jake, how about you? What does it stand for you?
I mean, I definitely plan on watching this film like plenty of times over my future.
I recommend. Yes, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, just because there is a lot to unpack, obviously, But I mean, I have to stick with the 3.5 just because one, like I feel like I have to process more things and continue to. So just like you, it might grow.
Hmm.
But also like Nick made a few good points about like the pretentious idea of the film, but then like I did have a rebuttal about how like sometimes that doesn't matter, but like you
Hmm.
know it's obviously gonna meet in the middle there. But ultimately a great film, very unique, one of a kind. So I gotta appreciate it for that alone.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, what's your final thoughts
As far as like my
on the
star rating,
rating? Yeah, and like,
yeah, I'll give it a 3. You know, I'm not thrilled about giving it a 3, but I'll give it a 3. I liked things in the film. I'm not sure that I'm crazy about the film as a whole. Does
gotcha.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, there are things about it that I'm like, man, this scene's fucking great. This is beautiful. And it's not like they don't use color in it and stuff like that, like the dancing at the end with all the red, you know, rope costumes that they're wearing and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like they do a lot of really interesting stuff, you know. But if I have to appreciate just pieces of the film, then you know, it's like, you know,
Okay.
I'm not super
Well,
wild
I
about it.
think it's
But
awesome that everyone's comments and critique and then their star ratings fit
Mhm.
exactly what we said. So we're straight.
Yeah.
That's right.
mhm.
Right on. Right on. Very cool. All right.
It's
Well,
true.
Mhm.
Nick's been awesome having you. I welcome you to the metaverse in this world, and
Mhm.
um, it's something we're going to continue doing. And who knows, we'll bring you back another time. And believe me, it'll be something completely different because we're going to do some
Okay.
comedy. We're going to
Cool.
do some
Something Italian,
crazy
yeah.
shit. Maybe some Italian
Cool.
eventually. But anyway, so
Mhm.
tell us again about yourself, what you do, what's coming up. Please share.
Mhm. Yeah, my name's Nick or Ghostchaser Knik on the socials. Runs Sid City Horror Club. Yeah, we just do like a monthly VHS screening that's really fun. And I'm a filmmaker here in Vegas, and I've been working on some stuff, and I've got
Can you spill
some, you
anything?
know,
Could you spill anything? Give us an exclusive.
yeah. I mean, I just got approached to shoot a. I just got approached to shoot a movie in Winnipeg, so to shoot a feature film. So I gotta put a pitch together and
Really.
you know, an actual like what an actual budget would be for me and my crew and stuff like that.
Okay.
So that's cool. And yeah, I mean, I've got another feature film on the way, but I can't say much about it.
Right. We
You
understand.
know,
I
so
know more than
yes,
we
yes.
could say.
You
But
know,
that's
you know more behind closed doors.
let me
Right? I'm
just
not going to say it.
say
I'm not going to say it on anything that gets published. So,
yeah,
and
well let me just
but I'm
say
also
for you.
writing
Go ahead.
I'm also writing a novel right now that I'm really enjoying writing called Bad Luck Guy, and it's about a guy who it's a kind of my love letter to Stephen King's Carrie. Only it takes place in modern times. The guy's an assistant manager at a GameStop. He's in his 40s. He hates his life. He's fat and depressed, and everything has gone wrong around him his entire life, and he doesn't know it. But that's because he's telekinetic and depressed all the time.
Nice.
So I'm writing that book right now, and I'm really having such a blast writing it. Like, just having revelation after
Do you
revelation
do
for
like
that.
field studies in GameStops and like analyze the managers and stuff?
No, no, but I do. He is a one of the things that I just recently wrote in the book is that he's a speed runner. Like he's a really good gamer, speed runner.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, sure,
yeah,
sure.
what they do like you know, time trials, you know, how fast they can beat the game.
Yeah.
And because of his when he's in a good mood, things always go his way because he's telekinetic. He
Oh
doesn't
sure,
realize
yeah,
it.
it's cool.
So when he's gaming and he's in a really good mood, he's like getting really lucky all the time in the game, right? And it's causing him to beat the game so much faster than everybody. But everyone thinks that he's running cheat codes because he's getting lucky all the fucking time. So there's this
Yeah.
internet. So because all the people on the internet hate him because they think he's faking it, he has to now record all of his records under an alias because he doesn't
Wow.
want to get roasted online. So it's like even when things go good for him, they go bad. He has to go into hiding. So it's like a bunch of other stuff. I just wrote a scene where he discovers his dad's corpse and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I'm really
Wow, that
enjoying writing
sounds
that
really
book, and I'm gonna
interesting. That sounds
dude,
really
I'm trying to do it as 150 pages, like a pulp dime store novel, and I wanted to have it done by the end of the year. So
sweet. Well, all right, guys.
yeah.
Well, then give Nick a follow here, and he will keep you up to date on what's going on in his career. And if any of you guys are
Hmm.
coming through Vegas, look us up. You know, we do a Sin City
Hmm.
Horror Club, and that's a monthly thing at a place called the Millennium Fandom Bar, which is not every Wednesday. It's one Wednesday out of the month. So we'll keep you posted on that on there as well. I DJ at these events, and we play film clips with music and soundtrack music, and then we show a really cool movie on VHS. So and a lot more to come too. So there's a lot happening in Vegas, guys. Stay tuned. Horror and cinema and film is just it's around the corner, even bigger. It's going to be Vegas is going to blow some minds. So stay tuned to the city and stay tuned to us. All right. Well, we'll let you go, Nick. Thank you so much, and we will catch you next time around.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so welcome back to the Cinema Snobs VR cast. And as you can see, we have our next guest for next month's show, which will be our August show. And we have here my son, Nicholas Gonzalez, a.k.a. Nick Gonzalez, a.k.a. Nicky Gonzalez. I don't know. What do you want to be called on the show?
I don't know. I'll go with Nico because you're my dad and he's my brother, so we'll go with that.
All right. So basically, we're going to have Nicholas here as the guest because he is a movie fan, but he's definitely the black sheep of the family who is an aspiring actor, and he's a pretty good actor. He's done some shorts. We could talk about all that later. You're also working on a film right now with the family and the brothers. So you're an actor, but you just quite don't watch enough films. And we're like, dude, you want to be an actor. You should be watching a lot of films. But you do have some favorite films. So let's start out there. What are some of your favorite films? And talk about like some of the ones that inspired you to even get into acting.
Yeah, well, the movies that I like to enjoy, and it's kind of the movies that fall in the path of my acting, is like usually Scorsese featured movies like Goodfellas, Casino, A Bronx Tale, and I'm a big fan of the show The Sopranos too. You know, I don't know, I kind of like the gangster Italian mob kind of movies. Like that's my genre, you know.
Beautiful. So, and we know that about you, but like, and that's cool. But you know that. Well, let me ask you another question. Who's one of your favorite actors? Who's one of your favorite actors?
Robert De Niro and Tony Sirico are my like those are my top two guys.
All right, it makes sense. So, in other words, Robert De Niro, you know, he's done all kinds of parts. He's done everything, not just gangster movies, right? Jake, what are some movies that De Niro did that are kind of like off the norm for him?
Like King of Comedy.
Right. You're right. Yeah. What else? How about like even doing like his older movies where he's like a father and stuff, or wacky bad grandpas or whatever those movies are.
His newer stuff, the freaking Dirty Grandpa, shit like that. But he's still like, okay. Honestly, the best example of De Niro doing something that was like out of the ordinary, like he doesn't even play in Italian, even is like King of Comedy or like Deer Hunter. You know,
Deer Hunter, yeah. Deer, you know, it's funny because Deer Hunter, he was always like, he never caught me like as like a guy who lived in the country, like right. Someone who lived in, in the South.
For me, he always feels
or not that it was the South, but anyway. So my point, Nicholas, is that I mean, it's fine. There's a lot of actors that are not, necessarily big cinephiles, and that's fine. But you definitely do broaden your craft when you broaden your horizons on the movies you watch. So that's the concept of this. We kidnapped you, this actor wannabe, and we're like, you got to watch some movies. And that sounded rude. You actually are, you're pretty good when you guys are making your little films and stuff. You're actually the one that stands out. You definitely have something. I really think you can do something with it, and and then you just did your first short film, which is from our friend. Why don't you talk a little bit about Javier's film and what you did? Don't spoil it, but just talk about it and what's coming out.
Well, it was a movie I played. It was a short film movie that actually my brother was in it too, but it was kind of like you know, like I played a nephew of an aunt. We went to one of her houses that she needed to fix up, and then she could sell it. And then it kind of went off like we heard noises and we
Okay,
heard
so
all kinds of,
don't spoil it. But what genre is it for the audience?
It's a horror movie. It's a horror
Okay.
movie. Horror film, yeah.
Right, and it's a short film. And what's the name of it? Do you remember?
It's called the Third Knock.
Right. Okay. And so that's his first short, like
Mhm.
official. I mean, it was actually done
Right.
pretty professionally and with
Yeah.
some good gear and everything. But you guys have been making little short films and stuff for quite some time with your brothers. Name some of the ones that you had the most fun doing.
Yeah, for maybe a couple of years, we've been doing like these movies and like I said, we watch.
Your
doesn't
microphone's breaking up a bit
casino
here.
stuff.
Hold on. Your mic's breaking up.
Oh,
Is
okay.
is everything all right? You're good? You're in one spot? You're not moving around?
Yeah,
nothing?
I'm good. I'm in one
I
spot.
wonder what's going on. Okay, go ahead. Try it again because you were breaking up.
Well, we've been doing a lot of the mafia movies, like inspired movies, because we watch a lot of Goodfellas and stuff like that. And yeah, we just did one in Italy. We filmed a lot in Italy. That one didn't actually make it, or we had a lot of technical difficulties with that one. But then we were doing a lot of other ones in school, and then like during school, we were making a lot of mob movies, short films in the summer.
Mhm.
And then we would actually we actually get a lot of our school friends and a lot of our work friends, and we would make movies. And now we're doing a kind of a bigger one
Mhm.
with it's about how the mob in the 80s in Las Vegas got into the drug industry. And I play a mafia boss. And yeah, actually Jake's actually in it too.
And that's directed by who?
But it should directed by Vincent Gonzalez.
Our brother.
My brother. My
The
other
third
brother.
So yeah, this is a
Third brother,
family. So basically, for those watching who's been following the show, the concept is me and Jake who do the show. We're both the cinephiles in the family. Nicholas is an aspiring actor, and I should say he is an actor. He's done some work, and Vincent is the aspiring director. So it's kind of a little cine family we have here.
Not the nicest
And-
director.
Maybe he's in the next episode. Who knows? We'll bring Vincent in because his story could be like he loves to make them, but he necessarily is also not someone who like is inspired by other people's work, which that's cool. I actually kind of think it's cool where you just like to do it because you like to do it, not because you want to be a star or stuff like that.
Right.
So that's cool. That's actually a good sign. That's why you want to do it. You're not necessarily big fanboys, you and your brother, but you're just someone who wants to do that. But we just think that if you are a fanboy a little bit, it might help open you up a little bit. So anyway, we picked two movies here that we're going to show. We're going to show you the trailers. Now, mine's going to be a little bit more of a fatherly guidance film for you, more than an acting film. So I picked a film that I really think that every young man should see. Okay, I'll get to that when we get to mine. But Jake, let's start with your trailer, and let's tell them the movie you're going to pick, and you tell them why you picked this film.
You want me to tell him right now?
No, I'm going to play it first. So let me flip the camera here, and we'll play the trailer. And as it's playing, you can explain what it is, and then we'll get into that.
Well, let me just say this, Nico. First of all, this is one of the best films inspired by the work of Scorsese. So just please watch it. And also,
Yeah, I know this.
your Catholic best friend is in it, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, which goes to show you that you could be a man of God and still have a past that, hey, we're human, right? Well, he's actually pretty ashamed of this movie. He made this movie. But you know what? You'll realize what a great piece of work. And also, Scorsese was definitely an influence on. This is the directing of the work of Master P.T. Anderson. Are you familiar with that name? Paul Thomas Anderson?
Yeah, PTA. He did Punch Drunk Love and all kinds. He did God. Jake, what was the movie we just?
What was it?
There'll be blood. He did. What was the? What was that one?
That's Magnolia.
Yeah, I just saw that one. I love that
He's
one.
a great filmmaker. So anyway, this movie you'll see is definitely a Goodfellas inspiration. It's a lot of shots like it you're going to notice. But anyway, the point is we want you to watch this film and really watch this film. No phone disruptions. No I'll watch the rest later. Give yourself a good 2 hours. Really watch this movie and watch it alone. And
Okay.
you'll see the
and he go,
great.
man, and it's 2.5 hours.
That's a little tight.
And and for a boy at your age, you'll also find a little titillation, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's about the porn industry, and it's
Right.
a true life description of what it was like in the era. And this was based off a lot of true stories. There was an incident that happened called the God, I can't think of the name of it. The murders. Oh God, I just saw a documentary about it too. Well, basically, the scene where they go into the drug lord's house and they try to rob him, that's based off a real true story.
Right.
Called God, can't think of the name. Well, there was a porn star in the day
I don't know.
called John Holmes, and he really tried to do this. And this was kind of a real life depiction of what this botched robbery was like. The name will come to me later. Maybe I'll even throw it under a subtitle.
Right.
It's totally evading me. But anyway, it's really, really depicts the porn industry from the 70s. And it's that era when when directors were really trying to make film. Like, they didn't think of porn as like just the sex and all that, but just really trying to make a good story with good acting and good lighting and that's the last phase was the 70s when they were really doing that. But then the 80s came in and it changed everything, and it made everything more like, let's just make it about sex and make money. Who cares about art? And
I think now more it's a little about, like what you're saying, it's a little more about like just getting right into it instead of, a storyline.
Right. And the director
he goes a lot about this.
was what's the director, the guy's name again? The director, Jake?
In the film?
Yeah. Jack Horner, right? Who's played by Burt Reynolds, a classic 70s. So anyway, he was the director, and he was like the last era of guys that cared, right? So anyway, there's more to it than just that. I hate to think that, we're just showing you a sex film. That's not what it is. And that's what goes to show you that you can kind of play with a lot of different genres. And there's a little bit of mob stuff in this, right? Right, Jake? Like, there's a little bit of like,
sure, yeah.
They were, the mob funded a lot of the porn industry, because there's a lot of money in it. And so there's a little bit of that in here, and you'll see how they do stuff like that, and how how pretty depraving the whole business is. So anyway, all right. So that's the one that Jake picked for you. Okay, so that's your acting cinema. Give him a high five. You can, if you guys high five it, you can actually slap each other. Go ahead, high five each other. No, your hands. High five them. No, high slap hard. It could clap. Maybe it doesn't work unless it's me. But anyway, in Bigscreen here, the program we're using, you can literally interact with people a little bit. Here, do it with me. I'm telling you, I could do it with me. See? I don't know if that showed up, but you'll see it.
Yeah, it showed up for me and Jake.
All right. Anyway, so very cool. So now the next film that I picked for you is a little bit of father to son advice. And something that every young man should know about. And we've seen signs of you in your love life here of almost going down this dark path. And we have to make sure it doesn't happen again. Now, Jake, you never saw this movie either, so this is going to be cool for you too.
No, I never want to watch it too.
I was almost going to pick films like, I wanted to pick like teen sex comedies, right? So I know you guys watched movies. I hate to admit this, when you were a little younger. We watched Porky's, right? And we watched Zap.
Porky's, yeah, Porky's.
And like, so, I had to fast forward to some. I definitely skipped some scenes. All you guys thinking I was a bad father, because I think you guys were like maybe 15 or something. And I skipped some things. But anyway, then of course you guys started watching some of these things on your own. But one that you never saw was a little film called The Last American Virgin. And this movie is one of my favorites. And I just rewatched it because I bought the DVD. Unfortunately, there's no trailer anywhere. I could not find a good trailer. Let me flip the camera here. So all I really have is these scenes here. And this movie's called Last American Virgin. And the story is about this kid here who loves this girl. Right? She's totally in love with this girl. And she just is like total opposites of him. And that guy in the middle there, he's actually
that's Thrill Me.
No, it's not.
that wasn't it.
What do you think he was? What do you think he was? 1930, 1920?
That dude's like 100 years old, bro.
They look like him.
So he's a pizza guy, right? And then he's basically like like a DoorDasher, right? And The DoorDash in those days is pizza delivery, and these are his friends.
Right.
And here's the Italian guy right here. Right, they're all trying to get laid, right? And
Right.
but see, he wants to do it with the right girl. His friend here, he gets all the girls, and she doesn't like him. She likes his friend, but he keeps trying. Like, get it, dude. Just get the point. She doesn't like you. She doesn't like you, but he just doesn't stop. And I don't want to give it away, but it just shows you how you got to take the hints. When a girl doesn't like you, you got to move on.
Right.
You get it now? So this is the ultimate, I think it's called Sus.
Oh, I see where this was going, yeah.
And yeah, but it's actually really good. And I always thought that I was like this kid. You know, I was like this kid. I was always a nice guy. I'm gonna be a nice guy. That's how you get the girls. You're a nice guy, right? And nice guys finish last. That's the story in this. Jake, it worked for me. And it's the nice guys finish last story. But watching this movie again, I was like, wow, I was like that guy. And then I realized, oh my God, that was bad that I was like this guy. You know, because I probably wasted a lot of years with girls that I should have never been with. Right? It took me some years to finally meet your mom and realize, all right, this is the woman for me. So anyway, I'm only showing you this because this is like a little video I could find with good, clean footage.
Right.
This is not the movie. But anyway, Last American Virgin. And another good thing about this movie is, let me flip the camera back. Another good thing about this movie is it's has a really good soundtrack. So like, you know how I love film soundtracks. You'll probably recognize that, like, oh my God, my dad plays the songs all the time. So you'll see why some of these songs were really inspirational and just good nostalgia for me. So there's a lot of great 80s songs in this movie, and you'll like that too.
Right.
All right. So there you go. There's your assignment.
Yeah, we're just showing them like two horny ass films, basically.
I didn't really think about that. When I asked Jake, what do you want to show him? You picked Boogie Nights, and I was like, oh, that's a funny double. So you got a little double feature of a little eroticism, and just go to church and you'll be fine. So
yeah, it's Mark Wahlberg. It's fine.
But
I was thinking when you guys said, yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. I was when you guys told me you were gonna pick a movie for me, I thought Jake was gonna do Moonlight or something like that. I thought he was gonna do that movie.
Hey, that's a good film.
And I was gonna be like,
but I don't think you're quite ready for that.
It's a good movie, but
put it this way, Jake or Nicholas, when you get an acting offer someday, and they're like, all right, Nicholas, you got the right look and you're perfect, and we're gonna pay you a great salary and all this stuff, but the part is this, and it's a gay scene, a gay part. Then we're gonna make you watch Moonlight because you'll realize that great acting is all that matters. Because I think the actor.
Yeah, look at Jake Gyllenhaal.
And yes, exactly. And Moonlight, I don't think he was a gay. Was he a gay actor, Jake, the actor in Moonlight? The older guy?
Idea.
Yeah, I don't think he was.
I know that
dude.
That was 50 Cent, right?
His lover. No, Nico, was not 50 Cent.
He played 50 Cent, though. He played 50 Cent in a movie.
Yeah, he did. I think he did.
Wasn't
he?
The
guy was not 50 Cent, though.
Okay.
I think he might have, yeah.
Right. Anyway, so yeah, maybe the next time we do this to you, or like I said, when you get to the point in your career when you have to start making decisions, like should I play this? That's a movie you should definitely see. So, but no, we pick ones that I thought would be a good mixture of something a dad would show the son and something a brother would show a son. So there you go. So guys, that's it. We're gonna wrap it up for this month, and we will see you for August's episode of the Cinema Snobs VR cast. And so let's close it out, and we'll see you next month. Say bye.
Bye. Thanks for having me, Dad. Appreciate it, Jake. It was pretty cool. I'll watch those movies, and I'll tell you what I think next, whenever.
Okay. Well, this is what we think about you right now.